All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Laurel. I am your host, Laurel McHargue, and we have back with us today Esther Isenberg, the lovely wife of our friend Robert Isenberg, who may or may not tell us something after Esther presents something. My understanding is you're going to present lyrics from a Chris Christopherson song, right? And tell me why. Tell me a little bit of the background about this song.
Okay. Well, Robert and I fell in love with his music back in 1970, and we had a brand new car, and it had a tape deck in it.
A tape deck. What's a
A
tape?
tape
What's a
deck.
tape deck?
So
I think we.
you had this cassette, and you put it in a slot, and it had a tape on it, and it went around and around. And Robert had bought a tape, and I was on my way to pick up a babysitter
Yeah,
because we were going to a party,
yeah,
and I put in the tape deck. I thought this will be fun. I'll listen,
yeah.
and I I listened for about 2.5 minutes, and the tears were coming out of my eyes. So I had to pull over
Oh,
and
so you're
hear the
driving.
whole
Yeah,
song. Yeah,
you're driving. Okay, you're
I,
driving
yeah,
and
I
crying,
was
which.
and crying. Yeah, and I'm listening to Jody and the kid and saying, where did this come from? Who is this person? And we
Yeah,
really were big fans for all
till he died.
till he died, and we miss him over breakfast
Yeah,
at all
yeah.
kinds of times. Yeah.
Oh,
So he was a fascinating character, and
yeah,
he had done so many wonderful things in his life, and so and he was a wonderful storyteller.
yeah.
And we on his what I think actually was his last tour, we were able to see him locally here
Oh,
in
nice.
perform. And we heard this song that hadn't heard, even though we thought we were, attentive followers. So, and I just was so taken with the story that he created. And he was, at the time, he was working as what's known as a gaffer, somebody who moves the scenery and helps the summer stock actually function.
Mm-hmm.
And it was they were out in a rural area, and that's when he would go to this diner, and he wrote the song as a gift to the people who had served him and taken care of him while he was in this place.
Yeah.
So the name of it is Here Comes That Rainbow Again. And we had never heard it until we heard it in concert. So I
Okay.
I just want to share the lyric.
Please.
The scene is a small roadside cafe, and the waitress is sweeping the floor. Two truck drivers drinking their coffee, two oaky kids at the door. How much is them candies? They asked her. How much have you got? She replied. We've only a penny between us. Them's two for a penny. She lied. And the heavens grew heavy with thunder and the smell of the rain on the wind. Ain't that just like a human? Oh, here comes that rainbow again. The truck drivers looked up from the coffee. Them candies ain't two for a penny. What's it to you? She replied. The two. Oh, the truck drivers finished their coffee, got up, and waved a goodbye. Looking down, she said, Hey, you left too much money. What's it to you? They replied. And the heavens grew heavy with thunder and the smell of the rain on the wind. ain't that just like a human? Here comes that rainbow again. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you got me a little teary.
So, how
Wow.
do understand the genius that comes to a man, he went to West Point, he went to Oxford, he went to West Point, he came from a military family, and he just he,
I didn't know he went to West Point. Chris Christopherson went to West Point.
not only did he go there, he went back there to teach English.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
and then he went from there to Nashville, and he was a janitor sweeping the floors in the studios, trying to get people to give him a chance. And
Well, tell the story how it got.
so he was a helicopter pilot, and um, the story used to be that he was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam, but he never actually went overseas. But he had access, and he wanted Johnny Cash to sing one of his songs, Sunday Morning Coming Down. And so he got in his helicopter and he landed on Johnny Cash's lawn coming in. And he said, "Here, I've got something for you. You got to do this. You got to do this song."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that was how he got his start. And
That is incredible. And again, I hadn't heard that song before. And I don't think I have. I'm going to look it up now and I'm going to did Johnny Cash do it? Did he perform it?
he didn't do
It's
that one.
Sunday morning.
He did Sunday Morning Coming Down, which is
All right. All
Robert's
right.
absolute favorite, with the smell of chickens
Oh
frying.
my,
Yeah,
You know Sunday morning coming down, don't you, Laurel?
I'm sure I do.
It's
Yeah.
amazing lyric. Maybe
Yeah.
you gotta be a guy. Although
You got to be
Sammy does it too. But it's an amazing story about Sunday morning and being alone. I think the first time I heard it, I was by myself driving upstate New York, and I heard the song and I said, I cannot believe somebody wrote those lyrics for me.
Oh my gosh. Esther, that was beautiful. And thank you for making me cry today on the first day of July.
sorry.
No, no, it's beautiful. And again, I'm an author. I'm a writer. Oh, to capture such emotion in so few words, right?
Yeah,
That's
and he had,
brilliant.
and not, I mean, as broad a life as he had. He's not really writing about his own life. He just seems to be able to morph into the inside of these people that he met, connected to, wanted to give a gift to, uh, and yeah, Jody and the kid. I mean, that just,
I thought you were going to do that.
I don't know it well enough.
Maybe next
Yeah.
time. Maybe next time. But I remember going down to Cape Cod with my friend Marilyn. Her parents had Marilyn Hinsa. Her parents had a place down on Cape Cod. We'd go every summer, and we would have a dime or a quarter maybe that our folks would give us, and we would walk half a mile down to the penny candy store. And we
Uh-huh.
would we would come back with a bag full of candy, Mary Jane's and root beer barrels and just all kinds of sticky, gooey, wonderful candy. I mean, and in some cases you could get a couple for a penny. I mean, unbelievable penny candy.
How much are
So
them? How much are them candies?
now, now you need a credit
Don't you love
card.
that word? Said how much in those? He says how much of them candies?
I know how much of them
He
candies.
really captures the kids, and you know,
Yes, yeah, the whole thing. And oh my gosh, the
and
goodness.
he was a Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goodness of some people. Yeah.
His mother disowned him. She was so angry that he could turn his back on West Point to go be a janitor in Nashville. You can just,
Oh,
And
wow.
like trashy music.
the,
Oh
the,
my
the,
gosh.
the determination,
Yeah.
the dedication that he had, the fire in him to
Yeah.
do all this.
Wasn't he was in a movie with Barbara Streisand,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
A Star is Born.
Star
Yeah.
is Born. Yes.
Esther,
Yes.
Esther liked it when he took his shirt off.
Oh
So did my kids.
He did the sailor who came in from the sea.
Oh, he's in a ton of
Yeah,
movies. He was in probably 75 or 80 movies.
yeah,
He died.
wow.
He died a huge millionaire.
yeah.
I think he was like worth
150 million
more,
dollars. Yeah.
250 million.
Well,
Yeah.
however, any more than yeah,
He
that's
really
awesome.
had
And yeah, I'm still recording. So, Robert, would you like to present something, or should we call this a wrap? And
Well, actually, a lot of stories are coming into mind. Esther handed me The Life of the Party,
okay.
and that starts off, basically, I think 4 years old. And my friend is going to have his 4-year-old birthday party, and he lives a couple of doors down from me. And my mom's dressing me up, and she's fixing my tie and my hat, and she says, "Now I want you to behave, Bobby, and I want to be proud of you." And she walks me down a couple of
yes.
doors, pats me on the head, and I go inside, and there's a huge amount of presents, more than I've ever seen. It's piled almost up to the ceiling. And he's opening them one after another, after another, after another, after another. And I can't even count because I'm only four. But I know it's a lot of presents. And finally, when he gets almost to the top, I scream, "That one's mine." Howard's gotten enough presents. And
Oh
I
my
start screaming, "That one's mine." And the mother says, "No, it's Howard's." And I said, "No, he's gotten too many presents. That one should be mine."
oh my gosh.
And so I'm asked to leave the party. She calls my mother because I'm screaming and hollering. Nobody can control me.
Oh.
My mama comes up, tears in her eyes, and picks me up and carries me home. And from that day to I'm 21 years old, nobody will have me do a party. My
Oh.
reputation is such, you can't have, when they go down the guest list, my name would come up. They say, "Oh, no, no, not him. He'll cause a ruckus. He's the ruckus kid. No, can't have him." So I'm 21 years old, and I've never been to a party since the 4-year-old party. And
Oh.
I realized that New York City is only 200 miles away, and I could move to New York City. And the beauty of it is it's 200 miles away, and nobody will have heard of me.
The birthday present thief.
Yeah, so I get very lucky, and I moved to an apartment with some very friendly girls, and they tell me about a party that's what I like to go to. Would I like to go to a party? Oh my God, I get so excited. I'm actually being invited to a party. Well, I very quickly learned the rules in New York. You're not allowed to talk to anybody for more than 2.5 minutes. And then they're supposed to go on to the next person who's there to meet people. And I didn't realize that, but I've certainly learned very quickly that I looked at my watch to make sure I didn't go beyond 2.5 minutes. And so things were going pretty smoothly. And now I'm getting mixed up with another story. But one girl whom I met, that's another story.
That's another story. We'll save that one for later. But at this party, it wasn't a present party. I mean, you had to be present, but it wasn't a gift party.
No, there were no gifts, and there were
Yeah.
rules. There were definite rules. The 2.5 minutes was very, very fixed in New York. You
Wow.
could not
Wow.
go beyond 2.5 minutes, or you could get thrown out.
Oh my
I know
gosh.
what it was
Oh.
like to get thrown out of a party, and
Mayan. Yeah.
my mother wasn't there to save me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. That's awesome. And oh, I could just imagine that, right? I mean, oh, growing up again, I talk about my friend Marilyn, right? And she was her older sister was way older than she was. So at Christmas time, she would get pretty much all the presents under the tree. And I'm one of five girls. And so there'd be a lot of presents under the tree, but I wouldn't get very many of them. And so I was always envious of her because she got all the presents. And I can remember the year she got marionettes. She got these marionette puppets. Oh my gosh, to get a gift like that. Oh, I was so jealous. Anyway, she's still my friend. She's still my friend.
You forgave her the
But you didn't
puppets.
say that one's mine.
No, I didn't say that one's Mayan. 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 Oh, but I could, a little
Yeah.
4-year-old. You had this sense of fairness or unfairness, and
Well,
he's got enough. And probably after he ripped open each one, he didn't even look at it, right? I mean, it's just,
yeah,
yeah,
right. You get so many presents that, yeah,
yeah,
at that
yeah.
point, yeah.
Ah,
Actually, when I think back, I'm not even sure this really happened, but I think it did. And then going on in New York parties, I think what happened was this girl came in, and it turned out that she was an editor at Vogue magazine, and I just had
wow.
to meet her. And so I went over to try to talk to her, and I didn't know what to say, but I suddenly said, um, "Could last night I went and I saw this movie and I really, really liked it. And I'd like to tell you about it." And she looked at me with a cold stare and said, "Sum it up succinctly."
Succinctly, yes, yeah. Yeah, oh, that's what an editor would do. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now with my novel. I'm trying to make my sentences more succinct, and it's coming out way better. Well, Esther and Robert Eisenberg, this was another doubleheader, a lovely meeting. I'm going to stop it here, and then I'm going to chat with you, and we're going to figure out what story you're going to tell next time. But listeners out there, Robert Eisenberg has a couple of books out there on Amazon. I will have the links below, and make sure to subscribe, like, and subscribe. And we'll catch you next time for another awesome story. Thank you, Esther and Robert.
I think you've got enough story with it's Mayan.
It's Mayan. It's Mayan.
I
We'll
think every
chat.
I
We'll
think
chat.
everybody will identify with that at one time or another. It belonged to them.
Absolutely. So hang on a minute, and listeners out there, we'll see you next week. Bye.